Live from 3140 BSR, this is DBSN GameDay, and it's a chilly night here on Halloween as the Owen Tangy Berlin Bears seek to host their first round of the playoff against Grove City. I'm Ishan Chahande.
I'm Jack Carter.
And I'm Rebecca Lape.
And we're excited to cover this game up to the kickoff. And let's take a look at Owen Tangy Berlin first and how they have performed so far. Let's look at their past game against Owen Tangy.
All right, so last game, they were really lucky with a Braylon Lopez scoop and score. I'm not going to be frank with that. I think they were very lucky last week, but they did hold a really good Olentangy offense to only 10 points. So I think this defense needs to show up again like they did last week.
Yeah, I agree. I think we played a great game. Definitely a lucky game, like Jack said. And we had a great run by Colton Ness last week with a touchdown run that helped seal the game and just help us get that victory.
With a 14-10 win, Owen Tangy was expected to win. They were 8-1 coming into the game, and with this loss, the Owen Tangy Berlin Bears are now 5-5 and have won the OCC for the 4th straight year in a row.
I think it's a great accomplishment for our Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think winning the OCC 4 years in a row, that's a really hard thing to do. Even winning it twice in a row, winning it 4 times in a row, only being a school just, I think, seven years ago. So winning that 4 times in a row is really impressive.
I mean, this senior class has never seen Berlin lose this conference.
Definitely.
That's crazy to think.
It's really impressive.
And it's crazy to think that at the beginning of the season, nobody had hope in this team, and now here we are in our first round of playoffs here.
Yeah. So, speaking of playoffs, let's look at this week's slate. Today's slate, rather. Let's start with Newark, the number 12 seed, versus the number 5 seed Liberty, the defending state champions.
Yeah, so Liberty, their key wins this year are Upper Arlington and, of course, home against Berlin. Some of their key players are their quarterback, Alex Leonard, and the running back, Grayson Davies. Both of these players need to have big nights tonight in order to get this win against Newark, who's a team that have had a really easy schedule. This year, they're 6-4, but their key wins this year have been against 1-9 Reynoldsburg and 2-8 Licking Heights, and that has not been impressive at all this year. But their senior quarterback, Brody Smith, has 25 touchdowns on the year. So if Newark wants to pull off this upset, they're going to need him to get a big night tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I think if either of these teams want to make it out tonight, they're just going to have to step up their game just a little bit more. Definitely Newark, since they're ranking 12th against the top 5 seed. So we'll see how that game goes out tonight.
I mean, beating as defending state champions would be a huge upset for Newark. As what Jack was talking about it, Brody Smith needs to absolutely tear it up. And Liberty has been basically on a roll since dropping their first 3 games. They've gone 6-4 with their only loss to undefeated Orange, which is a game that is respectably, you can understand that loss. I mean, Newark has struggled at some points. They've gotten absolutely demolished by Pickerington Central. They lost 52-7. So, I mean, they just need to show what they got.
Yeah, I think if I want to jump in again, I think their defensive end, Preston Lunsford, he's had 16.5 sacks on this year. That's unbelievable, even from a team that hasn't played anything great. He has 23 TFLs. That's an unbelievable amount. So I think, again, he needs to have a big night getting to the passer against Liberty.
Even getting to the passer, getting to the running back.
Yeah, stopping the run.
Exactly.
Yeah. So from this game, the winner of this game will go ahead and face the 4th seed Owen Tangy, the team that just lost to Berlin. They're 8-2, and their only losses are to inter-district rivals Berlin, which they lost 10-14, and they got demolished earlier in the season by Owen Tangy Orange, 42-14.
Yeah, I think those are 2 really quality losses. No, when they played Berlin last week, Berlin's been on a hot streak. You know, they won 4 straight, and Orange is one of the best teams in the state. They're 10-0. They're the number 1 seed. Those are 2 very respectable losses, and even their key wins, they've beaten Jerome, and they've also beaten Liberty. So I think they've had a really good season with good quality losses, but also very good wins.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody expected the win from Berlin last week, but the Bears pulled through and they got that victory. And I do think that people are respecting that Orange loss. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at Owen Tangy, they have a long list of college commitments from CJ Santa to OSU, Jackson Mangum, who just committed to Toledo. We have Caden Gebhart to Clemson. I mean, they got a long list of athletes, but I mean, as we've seen of late, Tangy has stumbled. They've narrowly scraped by Hilliard, Darby, and Dublin Jerome, which have not impressed. Jerome barely made the playoffs this year. Darby has not. And I mean, as you can see with the loss to Berlin, we can see that Owen Tangy has kind of tripped up as of late.
Yeah, I think this is a very talented Olentangy team. You know, they can go as far as they want to. It's just about, can their offense be great in the playoffs? Like, can they score points when it matters? So their quarterback, Luke Chalicki, he has almost 2,000 yards this year, 15 touchdowns and 6 picks. So those interception numbers in the playoffs have to come down. Even in 10 games, 6 picks is not terrible, but he's got to be able to take care of the ball in the playoffs. And their defensive line, especially senior defensive tackle Daniel Steffens, he has 15 tackles for loss this year. He's a 3-time varsity player. He has 59 tackles for loss in his career, which is an absurd amount. So he's averaging around 20 tackles for loss per season, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a great player right there.
Yeah. So from that, now we look at the number 7 versus the number 10 matchup. That's number 7 Gahanna Lincoln, traditionally a regional powerhouse, versus number 10 Groveport Madison High School.
Yeah, so Gahanna Lincoln, their key wins have been against Liberty and Grove City, who Berlin's playing tonight. And their key players is a sophomore running back, Leon Cummings. He has 716 yards on the year and 10 touchdowns, and he's averaging almost 70 yards a game. They run a 2 running back swing. So their other running back is senior running back Trey Wilson. He has almost 600 yards in the year and also 10 touchdowns. So a lethal running game. But I think the key to beat Groveport Madison is their passing game. Like, they have to have a comparable passing game to complement that run game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, when you look at Gahanna Lincoln and Groveport Madison, they faced already earlier this year, and Gahanna Lincoln won by 31-24 margin, very narrow. And I think this game could go anyway, really. Gahanna Lincoln is coming off, however, a 35-0 loss to Pickerington North. And while Pickerington North is a good team, you want to have a more inspiring performance from your team's offense, and they really need to have it. Quarterback Greg Kegley needs to have a big day. And for Groveport, you have to look at what their offense can do. They start 0-3. They lost to Division II Big Walnut 36-10, but they've gone 5-2 afterwards. And their quarterback Baker Bowden now holds a single game passing touchdown record against when he set it against Logan. They need that kind of offense if they want to put the fight to Gahanna Lincoln's hands, right?
Yeah, I think this can be anybody's game. Whoever shows up better tonight, whoever can face the cold better, Lincoln can win over Groveport if their quarterback has a great day tonight. Like we've seen, they've had good games in the past, and Groveport has also had some good games, but their losses to Pick North or even Big Walnut, like on either side, can show us like how they can dominate each other.
Yeah, I completely agree with Ishan on the point of their offense. Even though Baker Bowden did set that record against an 0-10 Logan team, I think they still need that production from him to be able to complement that run game.
Yeah. So I mean, now moving from this, the winner of this game, they'll face number 2 Pickerington Central, a team that has been a very well-known regional powerhouse. Pickerington Central, obviously, they are 9-1. Their only loss of the year comes to their inner city rival, Pickerington North, where they lost 17-3. No other game that Pickerington Central has played has come remotely close.
Yeah, so their quarterback, Rocco Williams, he's a Middle Tennessee commit. On the season, he has 2,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He's done great this year at keeping care of the ball, not turning it over. And I think if they want to have a shot at this state tournament, I think that he has to do the same. He has to not throw interceptions, and he has to get rid of the ball quick and keep throwing touchdowns.
Yeah, they've had a great starting freshman with a standout performance. Running back Edmund McAllister III. He's had some great games this season with some great plays, just helping the team out, getting those points in for the team.
Yeah, I don't know how you can slow them down.
Right, they're a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, their offense is averaging 43.9 points per game. That's just an absurd amount.
That's insane. They're going for some good games this postseason.
Yeah, they could. I think they're one of the favorites to win a regional title. But moving on to the next matchups, we have number 6 Upper Arlington, a team that defeated Berlin, versus number 11 Westerville Central. Westerville Central is 4-6, the team with the worst record in the area in the playoffs, facing an 8-2 Upper Arlington team once again that did defeat Olentangy Berlin 16-10 in week 2. Upper Arlington has won their last 2 games by over 30. However, they have lost in both their games to Orange and Liberty, 2 pretty good teams, but they can still show that fight, right?
Right. UA, they did beat our Berlin Bears 16-10 earlier in the season, and UA did win the last 2 by over 30, which could give them a confidence boost in that area. But yeah, like Ishan said, their losses to Orange and Liberty this season might show them that they're slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, I think they've had a great end of the season, winning both games by over 30, like Ishan said. I think they should have a ton of confidence coming into this tournament. So I think Upper Arlington will win this game handily. I don't think Westerville Central has any, I don't want to say they don't have any chance, but I feel like Upper Arlington should handle this game easily. So Westerville Central lost both of their games against both Westerville North and South. They are starting a freshman quarterback, and he's going to be under a ton of pressure to make this upset happen, but to keep him comfortable in the pocket, he's a freshman, so he's going to be a little nervous. They got to get that run game going and open up that play action pass.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Westerville Central, it's 4 wins. They defeated Bell Fountain, defeated Dublin Jerome, they've defeated Grove City, who you'll see tonight, and they defeated Central Crossing, a team that has put up 23 points all year long. So, I mean, and all their losses have been non-competitive. They have not put much of a fight. It will be good to see Nate Miller III, the freshman quarterback, just sling the ball around. He'll have a couple of years, but it appears so today will be his end of his freshman season today.
Yeah, I think Westerville Central, they might put up a good fight, might get a touchdown on that board, but UA might dominate this game tonight.
Yeah, the winner of this game will face the 3rd-seeded Pickerington North Panthers. And Pickerington North, obviously, they are 9-1. They defeated Pickerington Central. Obviously, I talked about it earlier, 17-3. And their only loss of the season is to St. Edward's of Cleveland, a team that's expected to compete for that state title. Yeah. So St. Edward's is a great loss. They're like one of the best teams in the state.
So Pick North, they did beat Pick Central like we talked about earlier, and they've also beat Grove City and Gahanna. So their best player is their junior running back, Anderick Thomas. He has 1,100 yards on the season, 15 touchdowns, and he's averaging an absurd 115 yards a game. So they're going to have him be able to run the ball tonight if they want to get that win.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pick North, they have, I also have that they have defeated St. Ignatius, another good team in Central Ohio, or throughout Ohio. But, most of their games throughout the end of their season mostly have been not super competitive, but they did have a scare there with their Grove City game with a 31-21 win. Grove City was creeping up on them.
Yeah. I mean, Pickerington North, their offense is just something to behold. Athletes all across the field. Their quarterback, Jared Mock, committed to Bowling Green, and we'll see what they got against Upper Arlington and Westerville Central. We'll see what they got. Now, we'll move on to the next one. Olentangy Orange, which will face the winner of either this game today, Berlin versus Grove City. I mean, Olentangy Orange, we've already seen them against Berlin. I was there to cover that one. Owen Orange, full of athletes from Trayton Schrader to Levi Davis to Lucas Fickle. I mean, they're crazy to watch.
Yeah, that's an explosive offense. Their quarterback, as you said, Levi Davis, he's an Ohio commit. He's been the guy all season, like running, passing the ball. But on third down, whoever they play, either Berlin or Grove City, he's gonna be able to have to use his legs on big downs to get those first downs.
Yeah, you know, Orange's offense, they are fast. They're electric in this game. They're going. And like they said, they played Berlin earlier this season and they did win. But I think if Berlin does face them this next week, that game might look a little different than it did earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that game, Berlin was just trying their new Wildcat offense with Colton Less. They were rotating quarterbacks with now a new hang with it. Yeah, they can get a little bit of a flow, a little bit more competitiveness.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this Berlin defense held Orange to 31 points, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't look great on the scoreboard, but with that explosive kind of offense from Orange, who averaged a ton of points this year, they held them to 31. And I think if they can get that production from their offense, which they didn't have in that game, that defense can still perform while their offense is getting touchdowns.
This is a historic season for Orange. This is their first 10-0 season in school history. They're looking to prove more from this. There was no one-possession game that Orange faced. Their closest game was the last game of the regular season, where they defeated Liberty 26-14, and that game wasn't really competitive all throughout. So I mean, a lot of teams are searching for answers on how to stop just these pure athletes that Orange has.
Yeah. You know, I think if the opportunity does arrive next week, you know, with the change of pace that Berlin has had through the end of this season that they've had, I think that they can take down these Pioneers.
Yeah, a little bit of offensive firepower, I think, is a little bit doable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if they win tonight, they'll want that revenge game against Orange, and they'll want it bad.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to beat a team twice, and I think Berlin's going to try to prove it. So, let's move on to the game that we have a hand today. Owen Berlin versus Grove City.
Yeah, so Grove City, one of their key wins is against a 5-5 Taze Valley team. Their schedule has been a little light, but they're not in a great conference. Their best players are senior quarterback Carson Welsh. He has 2,200 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Those interception numbers are a little bit high, so they're going to need him to be able to take care of the ball. Another key player is junior running back Blake Jackson. He has 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, and he's averaging 113 yards a game. They're going to need him to be able to run all over that defense and wear them down the whole game. Another interesting stat they have is they have 4 players with over 10 tackles for loss, which you don't see from a lot of teams. However, they don't have a lot of sacks, which is kind of weird. They're able to stop the run really well.
Right, yeah. And I think that game over Central Crossing, you know, Central Crossing hasn't really put many points on the board this year. I think that might just show how good they are when they don't have much of competition. And with them finishing 9th in their Region 3, you know, they've just been enigmatic with their offense this year. And they average like 44.6 points per game with all their wins and only 20.4 with all their losses.
Yeah, I mean, Grove City's looking for a big win today. They haven't tasted much playoff success so far. They're looking for their second playoff win since 2006. So, I mean, this is something that has been a long time coming for a lot of these Grove City players. But, I mean, when you look at last year, when Berlin played them just right here, they know that Berlin has risen up to the challenge and has shut Grove City down.
Yeah, I think another thing that needs to be big for Berlin tonight is they need this crowd to be good. It is Halloween themed, as you can tell, but I think they need this crowd, be able to feed off the crowd and be able to feed off that energy that they get from that crowd.
Yeah, you know, I think the crowd has been showing up tonight. I already see the Berlin student section filling up, and I do see quite a few supporters from Grove City showing up tonight, even though it is chilly and Halloween.
Yeah, it's 50 degrees, 47 expected at kickoff. That's going to take a toll on a lot of fans, a lot of the players. It is trick-or-treating night, too.
Yeah.
I mean, still a lot of people come out here. But when you look back at Grove City and how they're going to fight against Berlin, we've seen a lot of lot of unimpressive losses that they've gotten. They got blown out against Thomas Worthington, a team that has historically been a doormat of this conference, 42-21. When they were many of their starters were facing hand, foot, and mouth disease. I mean.
Yeah, I think when Berlin played them, I think that really helped us out. Even though we probably knew we were going to win anyway, we still dominated.
Yeah. Grove City's, though, again, we talked about it, Pickerington North. They played very close today, so they can show that they can rise to the challenge. But I mean, Berlin, we've seen basically nearly every game that they've lost has been close besides the Orange game.
Exactly.
Yeah. They held up with the defending state champions, only lost by a missed field goal.
Yeah, I mean, and they did blow out Taze Valley that one game.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, so I think Grove City should put up a good fight. They do run a spread offense, so their quarterback should be able to get out of the pocket and be able to run if he needs to. But I think he also needs to have a good performance throwing the ball.
Yeah, I think that, though, you got to look out for the Berlin defense. I think that's something to watch. They've been very, very good this year, one of the best in the state, and they're going to likely shut down that high-powered Grove City offense.
Yeah, especially that Berlin D-line has been eating all year. So I think stopping that run game shouldn't be a problem for this defensive line.
Yeah. I mean, now let's move on to our next part. When you look at our hot takes, what do you think? What do you think is going to be our hot takes?
My hot take?
Yeah.
I think my hot take is that I think Berlin is going to be orange. I think that's my hot take. I think Berlin's coming in with so much firepower on offense, finally figuring it out. And I think Orange is going to be, after that bye week, they're not going to be ready to face this hungry Bears team that, if they come off of a big win here tonight, should be full of confidence.
Yeah. I think my hot take is going to be Newark winning over Liberty tonight. I think that even though they might be the underdog in this situation, I think that they have the fight in them to win that game tonight, and Liberty just won't see it coming.
I think that my hot take for today is, compared to last year's game where Berlin won 28-7, I think today they're going to win by a bigger margin. I know that people have said that Berlin has been doing worse than last year, that Grove City has been doing better than last year. I think that Berlin will show the fight and win by a margin that's larger than 21, and show people really that Berlin has really coalesced into a really strong team after those first 5 weeks that they've really struggled.
Yeah, I think that switch of the offense has really sparked this team. I think it's given them new energy and new enthusiasm coming into this playoff. I think they're full of confidence, and they should be. They're off of a 5-game win streak, so they should be full of confidence coming into the playoff. And I think they'll have, like I said earlier, I think they'll beat Orange. So I think they just have to handle business tonight.
Yeah, I think that with the Bears and their change of pace this half of the season, I think that they're going to dominate tonight, and I think they could easily have a margin of 30 if they tried.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about the Newark and Liberty game earlier.
Right.
I think let's talk about our upset picks today. What do you got?
I think that. Hold on. Let me go back in my notes.
A lot of good games today.
I said that Groveport Madison is going to beat Lincoln. I think Lincoln is a very good team. They beat Liberty. They also beat Grove City. But I think Groveport Madison is going to be going into Lincoln with a ton of confidence. They started 0-3, and following that, they won 4 in a row. So clearly, they know how to get on a hot streak. And don't sleep on Groveport Madison in these playoffs, because if they get 1 or 2 wins, you never know, because they've been on a couple win streaks this year.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jack. I mean, they only lost by 7 points early in the season, and we've clearly seen that they can hang with Gahanna Lincoln. Groveport Madison, I think, is my best view for the upset pick this week.
Great games, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be very many upsets, but I feel like that's the only one that I could think of. I think all the higher seeds unless here tonight, I can't see an upset. I think even though it's an 8-9 matchup, I just can't see. I can't see a way.
Yeah,
that
I don't see it either. I think Berlin's easily going to take home this win.
Yeah, I think a lot of overmatched teams that are here, I think, that are going to be put out. There's a lot of parity. There's not between these teams.
I definitely think that the ranking system has underrated these underdogs.
Yeah, I think that the Bears are better than I think Lincoln.
I agree.
Lincoln, yeah. I mean, when you look at this, and now when you look at the bigger playoff picture, a lot of good teams in the area. Who do you think is gonna take our region?
I think it's going to be Orange. Like I said, I think 2 weeks ago, I said I think Orange is going to win the state championship, and I still stand by that. Even though I did say they would lose to Berlin, I don't know. I still think Orange has a great chance to win the state championship. And getting out of this region, they only need one or two wins. So I think getting out of this region shouldn't be hard for them unless they run into these Bears.
Hypothetically, if you think Orange could win the state championship and we could be Orange, do you think we could make it to state?
I think we could if we get on that, continue the hot streak. We're on a 5-game win streak to the win state. We might end the year on an 8-9 win streak. That would be unbelievable.
That would be crazy. I mean, don't sleep on the Pickeringtons though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
they've been consistently very solid, and I think this might be the year for one of them to pull it out in our Region 3. Incredibly stacked Region 3 to pull it out. I mean, you look at all across the states, you got the Cincinnati Catholic schools that might put up some fight. Archbishop Muller, that currently has a bye today, they lost to Liberty last year, the state championship. They could put up a fight. St. Xavier could put up a fight. But I mean, when you look at Cleveland, St. Edwards that lost to Pickerington North, we'll see which team makes it out.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how this playoff season goes.
Yeah.
I think another thing to add, I agree with you, Sean. I think both Pickerington teams have been amazing. They've played each other, and they've been great games. One was in week 2, I believe, and it was 17-3. But I think other than that, all Pickerington teams have been very good. So I'm excited to see which one will come out the region champions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that's our DBSN Game Day show.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's been a great year with you guys.
And that's our final show of the year. See you guys next year. Stay tuned for basketball season. As always, I'm Ishan Chahande.
I'm Jack Carter.
And I'm Rebecca Lape.
Thank you for watching.